Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I am MK Jabintaj. In this video, I am giving you the knowledge about the third module of the subject OOC Object Oriented Concepts for 4th SEM CSE CBCS BTU students. I am dedicating this video to all the students all over the world. Now let us begin. Module 3rd, Classes, Inheritance, Exception Handling. Class fundamentals. A class is declared by using class keyword. Class is a template for an object, and an object is an instance of the class. See the syntax here. The data or variables defined within a class are called instance variables. The code is contained within methods. Collectively, the methods and variables defined within a class are called members of the class. Now, let us see declaring objects or instantiating a class. Creating objects of a class is a two-step process. First, we must declare a variable of the class type, which is simply a variable that can refer to an object. Second, you must acquire an actual physical copy of the object and assign it to that variable using the new operator. The new operator dynamically allocates memory for an object and returns a reference to it where the address is stored. See the syntax here. See the figure. Object is a real world entity. Object is a runtime entity. Object is an entity which has a state and behavior. Object is an instance of a class. Java heap space. Java heap space is used by Java runtime to allocate memory to objects and JRE classes. Whenever we create any object, it's always created in the heap space. Garbage collection runs on the heap memory to free the memory used by objects that doesn't have any reference. Java stack memory. Java stack memory is used for execution of a thread. They contain method specific values that are short lived and references to other objects in the heap that are getting referred from the method. Stack memory is always referred in LIFO, last in first out order. See the figure. Now let us see simple class. Introducing methods. This is the general form of a method. See the code here. Methods define the interface to most classes. This allows the class implementer to hide the specific layout of internal data structures behind cleaner method abstractions. Defining methods provide access to data. You can also define methods that are used internally by the class itself. See the code here. See the continuation of the code. Now let us see constructors. A constructor initializes an object immediately upon creation. It has the same name as the class in which it resides and is syntactically similar to a method. A constructor doesn't have a return type. The name of the constructor must be the same as the name of the class. Unlike methods, constructors are not considered members of a class. A constructor is called automatically when a new instance of an object is created. There are two types of constructors: default constructor and parameterized constructor. Default constructor means no argument constructor. Default constructor. It is a constructor which do not take any arguments. If you do not define any constructor in your class, Java generates one for you by default. See the code here. See the continuation of the code. Now let us see parameterized constructor. A constructor that have parameters is known as parameterized constructor. See the code here. Now let us see objects as parameters. Using objects as parameters, so far we have only been using simple types as parameters to methods. However, it is both correct and common to pass objects to methods. For example, consider the following program, a short program here. Now let us see this keyword. Java defines this keyword. It can be used inside any method to refer the current object. See the syntax. This keyword is used to refer to current object. This is always a reference to the object on which method was invoked. This can be used to invoke a current class constructor. This can be passed as an argument to another method. Now let us see instance variable hiding. Interestingly, you can have local variables including formal parameters to methods which overlap with the names of the class instance variables. However, when a local variable has the same name as an instance variable, the local variable hides the instance variable. See the code here. Now let us see overloaded constructors. Constructor overloading is a technique in Java in which a class can have any number of constructors that differ in parameter lists. The compiler differentiates these constructors by taking into account of the number of parameters in the list and their type. See the code. See the continuation of the code. Now let us see role of this in constructor overloading. This is used for calling the default constructor from parameterized constructor. It should always be the first statement in the constructor body. See the code here. Now let us see garbage collection. In some languages such as C++, dynamically allocated objects must be manually released by use of the delete operator. Java takes a different approach. It handles deallocation for you automatically. The technique that accomplishes this is called garbage collection. It works like this. When no references to an object exist, the object is assumed to be no longer needed and the memory occupied by the object can be reclaimed. Advantage of garbage collection. It makes Java memory efficient because garbage collector removes the unreferenced objects from heap memory. It is automatically done by the garbage collector, a part of JVM, so we don't need to make extra efforts. Finalize method. The finalize method is invoked each time before the object is garbage collected. This method can be used to perform cleanup processing. This method is defined in the object class as follows. JC method. The JC method is used to invoke the garbage collector to perform cleanup processing. The JC is found in system and runtime classes. See the code here. A stack class also. See here. See the continuation of the code with output.